discussed. Now next topic is minor. Minor, yes. So minor also we have seen the several points. So what do you mean by minor? So minor means the person who is under the age of 18 years. So the person who is under the age of 18 years is treated as a minor as per Indian law. So now, or else what you can say, the person who has not attained the age of majority is a minor. So that much we know. Then what are the effects of minors agreement? First thing we need to know that any agreement with a minor is void. That means it cannot be enforceable in the court of law. That we have discussed. So void means void from the very beginning, ab initio. Agreement with a minor is void and it is inoperative, ab initio, void from the very beginning. Second thing, he can be a promisee or beneficiary. In the last class, we have discussed this, that is, he can be added only to the profits and not for the losses. Only to the profits and not for the losses. That means he can share all the profits of the firm, but he cannot share the losses of the firm. That is the meaning of this one. He can be a promisee or beneficiary. Then third one we discussed is his agreement cannot be ratified by him on attaining the age of majority. What do you mean by ratification? Ratification means confirmation of the act. That means the if the person is a minor and you have entered the contract with a minor, then after several months or after a year, when he becomes a major, he cannot continue the same contract. He cannot continue the same contract. Why? Because agreement with the minor is void. So for that reason, now we need to do the fresh contract. We need to do the fresh contract. That means his agreement cannot be ratified by the reason his agreement cannot be ratified by the reason of this one attaining the age of majority. That is third point. Fourth one, minor can always plead minority. Minor can always plead minority means, what do you mean by this? He can say that I am a minor, I am not eligible. Suppose you have given him something, or suppose you have lent a certain sum of money to minor, then if he fails to pay the money, you cannot recover that money from minor. Why? Because he can claim that I am a minor, and court of law also will accept that fact. Fourth one. That then fifth one is, if he has received any benefit under void agreement, he cannot be asked to compensate. That you know, right? Because suppose a minor is given with 5 lakh rupees, if he fails to pay again, you cannot ask for repayment of 5 lakh. That you know. So that is the meaning of this one. Sixth one, minor as a partner, he cannot become a partner in a firm. That is the one thing. Minor cannot become a partner in a firm, but what happens, he can be added only to the benefits of the firm. This we discussed in the last class. He cannot be declared as insolvent. So even if he fails to pay the amount due, he cannot be declared as insolvent. Why? Because he is a minor and agreement with him is cannot be enforceable in the court of law. He is liable for necessaries. Last point we have discussed is he is liable for necessaries. What do you mean by necessary? If a minor is incapable of meeting his needs, then any support is given to the minor by any other person or any third party. Such a support can be taken back or can be claimed back. Suppose any tuition fee is given to the minor. Suppose any educational expenses is paid by other person on behalf of minor. Suppose funeral. Suppose his minor's parents died, and for funeral duties, any sum of money is given to the minor. Such an amount can be claimed back. So that is he is liable for necessary. Now next point. So next point we need to see is ninth one. He can be an agent. He can be an agent. So that is the ninth point. So what do you mean by can be an agent? So agency, in an agency there are two parties. One is principal and one more is an agent. So agency relationship means one is a main person, principal, and second one is one who is acting on behalf of principal. That person is known as agent. See this. An agent is merely a connecting link between principal and the third party. Minor can be appointed as an agent. Okay. So what example you can give for this one? If a principal in a contract of agency suffers any loss on account of minor's negligence, principal cannot recover such loss. Why? Can you tell me? Principal cannot recover such loss if because of minor's negligence or carelessness any loss suffered by him because of minor's negligence, that is contract entered into between agent and the third party. In that case, principal cannot recover the losses. Why? Because minor can always plead minority. That is the thing. See this. Minor is an agent since minor is not liable for the acts of negligence that we have discussed earlier. See this. Minor is not eligible to pay the amount. He is not asked to compensate. So that is the point here. That is the ninth one. He can be an agent. Next one, minor as a shareholder. Whether minor can become a shareholder, can you tell me? Minor as a shareholder. Can minor become a shareholder? Anyone answer? Can minor become a shareholder? Anyone? He cannot become a partner, but he can be added to the benefits of the firm. That we know. Whether minor can become a shareholder in a company, can you answer me yes or no? Whether minor can become a shareholder in a company? Amrita is saying yes. What about others? What about other? Yes or no? How it is yes? Can you tell me how it is yes? See, minor, yes, through his guardian. Okay. Through his guardian he can become, but directly whether can he become the shareholder? Directly whether can he become a shareholder? It is not possible. It is not possible. Minor cannot become a shareholder. See this. Minor cannot become a shareholder. Minor cannot apply for the share and becomes a shareholder or a member. Even if his name is registered in the register of member by mistake. Suppose someone entered his name in the register of member. What do you mean by register of member? Register of member contains the details of all the members or all the shareholders of the company. Register of member means what? It contains the details of all the members or all the shareholders of the company. That book is known as register of member. Suppose someone written minor's name in that book. In that case also he cannot become a shareholder. Director have every right to remove his name from register of member. So when his name is entered in the register of member, whether he is eligible to receive dividend, whether he is eligible to receive dividend, as long as his name exists in the register of member, whether he is eligible to receive dividend. Can you tell me yes or no? Can you tell me now whether he is eligible to receive dividend? Whether he is eligible to receive dividend? Can you tell me? As long as his name exists in the register of member. Yes, Rajat is saying yes. Correct answer. Correct answer is eligible to receive dividend until his name gets cancelled from register of member. So till that time he can get his money. That is dividend he can get. Yes, that is the 10th point. Minor as a shareholder. Next one, contract by minor and adult jointly. Minor is not liable in the joint contract, only adult is liable. Suppose A and B. So A is a minor, B is an adult. That means B is a major. A is a minor, B is a major. Suppose they enter into a contract jointly for any losses. Who is liable? Minor or major? Only major. B is liable. Major is B, he is liable. A is not liable since he is a minor. Since he is a minor, he is not liable. That is very simple. Contract by a minor and adult jointly, only adult is liable. 12th one. Contract of service by a minor. Suppose if minor decide to give any service or suppose minor enters into contract of service, such a contract is not enforceable in a court of law. Everything entered into an agreement or everything which involves the minor is cannot be enforceable in the court of law because it is void. That we know. Contract of service by a minor is also void. Marriage contract. Okay. Now 13th one is marriage contract by a minor. Minor cannot enter into a contract during his minority to marry after attaining the age of majority. So what do you mean by this? Can you give me the example for this one? Can you give me the example for this one? That means now I am my age is 16 years. Now I will give you the example. My age is 16 years. So now what I say that after I become 18 year, I will marry one particular person. Whether this is an eligible agreement or whether it is a valid agreement. Can you tell me? Before attaining the age of majority itself, now I will enter into one agreement to marry one person after I attain the age of 18 year. Whether this is eligible or valid agreement, no. Disha is saying no. Correct answer. Why? Because minor's agreement is void. See this. A minor cannot enter into a contract during the minority to marry after attaining the age of majority since it is void. So very clear, 13th point. 14th one, contract with minors do not bind on his parent or guardian. That means for minors action, his parent are not liable. But in what cases parents or guardian is liable? Can you tell me? For minors action, parents or guardian is not liable. That means you cannot ask the money from his parents or guardian. That is the meaning of this one. But under what case parents or guardian is liable? Can you tell me? Under what case or under what circumstances parents or guardian is liable to pay the money on behalf of minor if there is any default or by the minor? If there is any default by the minor, under what case? Can you tell me? We have discussed this. We have discussed this point. Supply of necessity. See this. Supply of necessity. If minor is failed to pay the amount due, suppose any necessity is given and minor is failed to pay the amount due, in that case he can, that means the party who has given the money can recover the money from minor's property. So what do you mean by minor's property? Minor's property means either from his guardian or from his parent, either from his guardian or from his parent. So that is the meaning of this one. See this. So contract with minor do not bind on his parent or guardian. Okay. Next one. 15th one is surety for a minor. What do you mean by surety? So some guarantee is given. Surety means some guarantee is given. If there is any default, surety will pay the amount. In case a person stands as a surety for the loan sanctioned to the minor, surety has to repay the loan amount. That means what? When surety has to pay the loan amount, only when the minor failed to pay the loan money. Only when the minor failed to repay the loan money, in that case, surety has to pay the loan amount because he cannot ask from minor because the contract with minor is void. Surety for a minor. Next one, last one is minor and negotiable instrument. Whether minor can draw a negotiable instrument? Yes, minor can draw a negotiable instrument binding on all parties except himself. What do you mean by negotiable instrument? So negotiable, what do you mean by the word negotiable? Can you tell me the meaning of the word negotiable? What do you mean by the word negotiable? Anyone? Can you answer? Yes. What do you mean by the word negotiable? What is that? Negotiable means what? Anyone? Correct word, replacement word. Can you give me for negotiable? Negotiable means what? See, there are many people here. Anyone can answer. Unmute yourself and you can answer, or else you can comment in the chat box also. So, what do you mean by the word negotiable?
Which can be changed, sir.
Yes, which can be changed. So negotiable means which can be changed. Yes, correct. Or else can you say negotiable is equal to transferable? Can you say negotiable is equal to transferable? Whether do you agree with me? Negotiable instrument is equal to transferable instrument. Do you agree with me? Negotiable instrument is equal to transferable instrument. Yes or no? Can you tell me? Yes or no? Negotiable instrument is equal to transferable instrument. Rajat is saying yes. Correct. Because see this negotiable means in this context it is transferable. What and all can be transferable? Can you give the example for negotiable instrument? See now can you give me the example for negotiable instrument? Anyone? Very simple negotiable instrument. What example you can give? Anyone can give the example. Negotiable instrument. Whether check is a negotiable instrument. My question now, whether check is a negotiable instrument. Whether check is a negotiable instrument. Can you tell me yes or no? Check. Yes, check is a negotiable instrument. Why it is a negotiable instrument? Because we are drawing the check on to some party. See this, we are giving the check to some party, and that party can get that check, and that means that party can hold that check and can go to the bank and draw the amount. Draw the amount, or else self check also can be issued. That is also there, but check is a negotiable instrument. And one more negotiable instrument is bills of exchange. Bills of exchange is also negotiable instrument. See this, a minor can issue a check to another party. He can draw a bill of exchange in favor of him. He can draw a promissory note. So these things can be done by the minor, even if he is not eligible to enter into a contract. So he can draw the check amount. So that is the meaning of this one. So now whether the topic is clear, effects of minors agreement. Now my question is whether the topic is clear. Minors agreement effect. There are 16 points. This question comes for 24 marks. 24 marks question repeatedly asked, who is a minor and what are the effects of minors agreement? Whether this is clear? Nishant is saying yes. What about others? What about others? Others reply. What about others? Rajat is saying yes. There are 14 people, only 2 people are saying yes. Ashish is saying yes. Okay. So that is the concept of minor. Yes. Wait, wait. Madam Alva. Oh, Javed, no. ಏನ್ ಬರೋದು ಸರ್ ತೇ ಇಲ್ರಿ ಓ ಒಯ್ವೆ ಒಳಗಿದ್ದವ್ರಿ ಹಾ ಮಗ್ಗೆ ಪಳೆ ಐತೆ ಏನಿಲ್ವೇ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅದಿಲ್ವೇ Right, sir. Right. Bye bye. Yes. So now next, yes. So now next topic is case law. So no doubt, right? Regarding the minors agreement, no doubt, right? Minor and minors agreement, no doubt, right? So see this Akamsha, Amrita, Ankita, Anucha, Ashish, again Ashish Kamath, Disha, Kuchal, Narasimha, Nichant, Pooja, Rajat, Suresh, Swati. No doubt, right? Regarding minors and minors agreement. No doubt, Kuchal is saying. Okay, fine.
No.
So, yes, yes. So now last two topic left. So that we need to see. Before that, there is one case law. Case law name is Nash versus Inman. Nash versus Inman 1908. That is in the year 1908 there was one case law, that is Nash versus Inman. So now what is this case law is about? What is this case law is about? This case law is about supply of minors necessities. What is this case law is about? This case law is regarding the supply of necessities to the minor. So now we need to see what happens in this case law. See this, Nash is referred as N. Hereafter Nash is referred as N. Inman is referred as I. Okay. So Nash is a tailor, I is a minor. So very clear. Nash is a tailor. Nash is a tailor, I is a minor. Okay. So now Nash decides to give some fancy coats, so some fancy dresses to I on credit. Okay. So now I receives the same. So now I receives the same means Inman receives the same. Nash given some fancy coat to the Inman and Inman accepted that. Okay, now since I committed the default in payment of money, that means after receiving the coat, Inman had failed to pay the money to the Nash. So now N sued to recover the money from Inman. So now I pleaded infancy. What do you mean by I pleaded infancy? Can you tell me? What do you mean by I pleaded infancy? I means Inman pleaded infancy. What do you mean by infancy now? What do you mean by infancy? Can you tell me? What do you mean by infancy? Infancy means, we have discussed this earlier. What is that? minor can always plead minority. Infancy means he has not attained the age of 18 years. That is why he can claim that he is a minor. So that is the meaning of this one. He pleaded infancy. So what is the judgment given? Judgment held that I was actually a minor. That means Inman was actually a minor and he had enough clothing at the time of sale. For this reason, judge found that there was no evidence of coats supplied to a minor could possibly considered as class of necessaries. So here what is the case? Inman had sufficient clothes. Inman had sufficient clothes, and even after that Nash has given Inman some fancy coats as necessities on credit. Credit means he has given as a loan to Inman. So now what court is saying? Court is saying the quote given by Nash is not considered as necessities. Why? Why quote given by Nash is not considered as necessities? Can you tell me? Can you tell me why it is not considered as necessities? Can you tell me? What is the reason? Coat given by Nash, or that is fancy dress given by Nash, is not considered as necessities. What is the reason? Because Inman, the minor Inman, had enough of clothing. That means he has sufficient dress. He has sufficient dress. For that reason, anything given to him extra considered as extra itself, and it is not a necessity. It is a luxury type. It is a luxury type. It's not necessity. That is why no evidence says that quotes applied to a minor could possibly considered as a class of necessaries. N could not recover the money either from I or from his property. That means Nash, the tailor, cannot recover the money from I, Inman, or from his parent or from his guardian. Okay, so whether this is clear, Nash versus Inman. Nash is a tailor, Inman is a minor. So Nash gives some cloth to the minor, but court says that he has sufficient cloth, so this is not cannot be considered as necessities. So Nash cannot claim the money from minor. Whether this is clear, Nash versus Inman. Whether this is clear, small case law, very small case law. Judgment also you know. So whether any doubt regarding Nash versus Inman 1908? No doubt. Rajat is saying no doubt. What about others? I hope there is no doubt. Very small case law this is. So no doubt I hope there is no doubt in this. Okay. Okay. Nishant is saying no doubt. Okay. So now next topic is person of unsound mind. Next topic is person of unsound mind. So who can be considered as a person of unsound mind? Can you tell me who can be considered as a person of unsound mind? Can you tell me? Very simple. The person who is not able to make a rational judgment, or means in other words, what you can say, who is incapable of judging between right and wrong, who is incapable of judging between what is right and what is wrong, can be considered as person of unsound mind. Whether this is clear? So now you see, a person is said to be unsound mind for the purpose of making a contract if at the time of making the contract he is incapable of understanding the meaning of contract. He is incapable of understanding the rules of the contract. He is incapable of understanding the what are the duties he has to perform under the contract. In this case, what happens? He is incapable of making the rational judgment also. In all these cases, the person is considered as he is of unsound mind. That means what? In short, what you can say is a mentally unstable person. Mentally unstable person is considered as person of unsound mind. So yes, now what are the types are there in person of unsound mind? First one is idiot. What do you mean by idiot? Yes, now very important, interesting topic. So now what do you mean by idiot? First thing comes is idiot. What do you mean by idiot now? Yes, can you tell me? What do you mean by idiot? Anyone unmute yourself and tell me what do you mean by idiot? So we call many times while we are speaking we call some people as idiot, isn't it? So what do you mean by that? What do you mean by idiot? What do you mean by idiot? Whether it is temporary or permanent instability, Can you tell me whether it is temporary or permanent? Idiot means whether he is a temporary unstable person or a permanent unstable person. Can you tell me? Nishant is saying temporary. Idiot is temporary. Okay. What about others? Disha is saying temporary. Idiot means temporary. Okay. What about others? Why can't be it is permanent by birth? Yes, idiot means it is permanent. It is not temporary. Say temporary is the wrong answer. Idiot means it is a permanent instability. See this. Idiot. Idiot is a person who has completely lost his mental faculties. So he does not exhibit understanding of even ordinary matter. Idiocy is a permanent. See this very important. Idiocy is a permanent state of instability. But lunacy is temporary. So next thing comes is lunatic. Idiot is permanent. So what do you mean by lunatic? Lunatic means at some interval he becomes unstable and in remaining interval he is a proper person. He is a proper person in some interval and during other interval he becomes unstable. Such a person is known as a lunatic person. So lunatic state of mind is temporary. Lunatic state of mind is temporary. Idiotic state of mind is permanent. So very clear this one is. Idiot means permanent, lunatic means temporary. Yes. So what do you mean by lunatic? Lunatic person is a one who has mentally deranged due to some severe mental stress or other personal experience. Maybe because of some shock. First he was proper, because of some shock now he has lost his mental stability. That may be the case. He suffers from intermittent intervals of sanity and insanity. What do you mean by sanity? Sanity means he's a proper person and insanity means he's not proper. Intermittent means at some interval he is proper and during some other interval he is not proper. Okay. Now, however, he can enter into a contract during the period when he is of sound mind. So, contract with a lunatic is valid when he is of a sound mind. So, this is very important. Contract with a lunatic is valid when he is of a sound mind. So, my question, whether contract with an idiot is valid? Whether the contract with the idiot is valid? Can you tell me yes or no? Whether contract with the idiot is valid? No, contract with the idiot is not valid. Why it is not valid? Because he is permanently unstable from birth itself. So from the beginning itself he is unstable. He will not become proper itself. So that is the meaning here. Yes, that is second one. First one is idiot, person of unsound mind. First one is idiot. Second one is lunatic. Third one, drunkards. Drunkards. So drunkard means the person who drunk liquor and all. So that person is drunkard. So at the time when he is a drunkard, he is not in a position to make rational judgment. Do you agree with me? Suppose person drinks a lot. At during that time, if you ask with him anything, he is not in a proper state of mind. He cannot make rational judgment, isn't it? But when he is not drinking, in that case, you can enter into a contract with a drunkard. So drunkard means not necessarily that entire day he is drinking, isn't it? At the night time he may drink, isn't it? Day is proper. So that is the case here. So here drunkard at the time he was not drunk, you can enter into a contract. His position is similar to that of lunatic. Lunatic and drunkard, same position. Okay. So only three types are there in the person of unsound mind. First one is idiot, permanent. Lunatic means temporary. Drunkard means same of lunatic is also temporary. Okay. So now last topic of this chapter is person disqualified by law. Last topic of this chapter is person disqualified by law. So now the following persons are disqualified by law. What do you mean by disqualification? Disqualification means the person cannot enter into a contract with others or his contract cannot be enforced in the court of law. Such things are known as person disqualified by law. So now what are the parties or what are the types are there in person disqualified by law? First one you see alien enemy. Who is a alien? Alien means not an Indian citizen. So very clear. Alien means person residing outside India. person who is not there in India is an alien for us. Okay, so now there are two types: alien friend and alien enemy. Who is an alien friend? So our country's relationship is suppose if our country's relationship is good with other country, in that case that country's person is alien friend. Now who is the alien enemy? Our country's relationship, that means India's relationship with other country is not proper or not doing well. There is no harmony, no cooperation, no coordination. In that case, India versus Pakistan, see this. Now suppose any person from Pakistan is alien enemy, any person from USA is alien friend. So this thing we have discussed. So that is the meaning of this one. Alien enemy is person disqualified by law. First point. Now second one. So, and in alien enemy, again, one more thing is there. He may be either alien friend or alien enemy. We know if a country is doing a war with India, at the time of war itself, he is alien enemy. And not at the time when war is not happening, in that case, he is not an alien enemy. He is an alien friend. So, okay. Second one, foreign sovereigns, ambassadors, and other diplomatic staff. So, what do you mean by ambassador? Suppose there is any foreign representative. So, suppose let us take the example of Donald Trump. So, now Donald Trump is, you know, right, president of US. Okay. So, he is a foreign ambassador to India. Okay. Now my question is, can he enter into a contract with Indian person? Whether Donald Trump can enter into a contract with Indian person? Can you tell me whether Donald Trump can enter into a contract with Indian person? Whether that is possible? He is residing in US. Can he enter a contract with the person who is staying in India? Whether that is possible? Yes, possible. Ashish is saying no, Ankita is saying yes, so there is some confusion. Okay, so it is possible provided he can enter into an contract with his agent. Directly, Donald Trump cannot enter into a contract. He should appoint an agent for that purpose. So, for example, Donald Trump appoints one person as his agent. In that case, he can enter into a contract. See this. They can enter into a contract with the help of their agent only. That is the second point. Convict. What do you mean by convict? Convict means suppose court has given any punishment. Convict means the court has given any sentence statement or any punishment to the guilty party. So such persons known as convict. So can convict enter into a contract? Can you tell me whether convict can enter into a contract? Yes or no? Can he enter into a contract? Ajmal Kasab. Can he enter into a contract? No. Yes, no. Why? Because it is declared by law that is incompetent person. It is declared by law that is incompetent person. See this. A person who has found guilty and sentenced by court of law, such a person cannot enter into a contract. That is third point. Fourth one, insolvent. Insolvent at the time of insolvency state. At the time of insolvency state, you cannot enter into a contract with him because he has no money. He has no money, so how can he give consideration? He is bankrupt. He is bankrupt. He has no money, so you cannot enter into a contract. At the time of solvency position, when he has money, in that case you can enter into a contract with the solvent person. So that is the fourth one. Fifth one, corporation or company. So now corporation or company. So whether company is an artificial person, yes, you know, joint stock company is an artificial person. Yes, that is correct. So can company enter into a contract with Indian citizen? My question, can company enter into a contract with Indian citizen? If yes, how? If yes, how? Whether joint stock company can enter into a contract with Indian citizen? If yes, how? You know that company is not a natural person. It is artificial existence. You know, right? So whether can company enter into a contract? Whether it is possible? Yes, it is possible that company can enter into a contract with Indian citizen provided company appoints agent for that purpose. So company should appoint one agent for that purpose. See this, company has no physical existence, so it is permitted to enter into a contract only through its agent called director. Who is the agent of the company? In this case, director. Why director is an agent? Because he is appointed by the members or the shareholders. Among the shareholder themselves, they will appoint one person as a director who will manage the activities or the affairs of the company. So that is the meaning of this one. So there are 5 types under person disqualified by law. One is alien enemy, second is foreign sovereign ambassadors and other diplomatic staff, third one is convict, fourth one is insolvent, fifth one is corporation or companies. So any doubt regarding person disqualified by law? Any doubt regarding person disqualified by law? Can you tell me? If there is any doubt, you can ask. Unmute yourself and ask, or you can comment in the chat box. So any doubt regarding person disqualified by law? No doubt, right? Very simple. These things are very simple. I hope there is no doubt regarding this. So hereby we have finished our second chapter of law. We have discussed what and all we have discussed in this chapter. First we have discussed about offer. Then we have seen the rules of offer. Secondly, we have discussed about acceptance. Then we have seen the rules of acceptance. Then we have seen the case laws. Then we have seen the consideration, rules of consideration. Then we have seen no consideration, no contract. What are the exceptions? And then we have seen this one, stranger to the consideration cannot contract, stranger to the contract cannot sue. Then capacity to the contract we discussed, minus we discussed, agreement with minus we have discussed, then this one person disqualified law and all we have discussed. So we finished second chapter here. So now any doubt regarding this chapter? Any doubt regarding this chapter you can ask now. Any doubt regarding this chapter you can ask now.